Lyman Eagles Volleyball is live only on mylocalradio.com. Eagles Volleyball is in session for another action-packed fall season. Carrying you straight through the year and into the state tournament in November. MyLocalRadio.com is here to bring you live video coverage of Lyman Eagles sports. With the opening serve quickly approaching, let's join Jake Hibbard, voice of the Eagles, in the My Local Radio broadcast booth for pregame coverage.
Getting a view live here from Kemmerer High School, Kemmerer, Wyoming, the scene for another conference or out-of-conference volleyball match for the Lyman Eagles taking on the homestanding Rangers. Conference season starts this Thursday, so for the time being, there's a little bit more time for Lyman to get things settled before it starts to count. Jake Hibbard joining you live on mylocalradio.com. More of Lyman pregame coverage next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Members of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union feel confident that our staff has your best interest in mind, confident that we acknowledge your financial needs, confident that we are always working hard to provide the best rates, best products, and the best service the industry can offer, and confident that we will always work with you to help achieve your financial goals. Join Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today. TronaValley.com, member NCUA.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Welcome back live here at Kemmerer High School as we are getting set for an out-of-conference interclassification matchup of the Lyman Lady Eagles versus the Kemmerer Rangers. At the moment, Lyman is sitting through their hitting lines and Kemmerer out in the passing lanes down to the far left of us. Beautiful scene here. It's a great gymnasium, a great high school here. You've got scoreboards all the way around, both on the sides and then up top. You got that NBA-style arena scoreboard that shows the score on all four sides around. Then you have the running track above where you have, I think, 4 lanes to go around. You got paneling on the sides of the walls here, and then bleachers going up all 4 sides if necessary. The side bleachers are up, and then the baseline bleachers are pushed up for this contest tonight. I would imagine they'd probably bring those out for a basketball contest and leave them up for volleyball for a little more room here. We are about 13 minutes away from the first serve here. And when we come back, we'll take a look at both Lyman and Kemmerer. After a few weeks of play, they're getting set for some more one-off matches to begin conference play this week for Lyman against Pinedale on Thursday. But a brush-up match here in just inter-county, but not that far away, about 45 minutes away here in Kemmerer in Lincoln County, away from Lyman. So when we come back, we'll take a look at both of those teams next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Back here live at Kemmerer as we take a look at both of these teams in competition, both with winning records as we enter the fourth week of play for both sides. First for the homestanding Kemmerer Rangers, I should say they were at winning record. They're sitting at 9-12 through 21 matches and a lot of those tournament competitions. And taking a look down the schedule, more recently, they had a couple of big wins at the Star Valley Invitational, where they were able to knock off a 4A opponent and about 45 minutes away in Evanston in 5 sets twice. Now, Evanston has a little bit of injury issues that they're dealing with, but nonetheless, Kemmerer was able to beat Evanston twice in the Star Valley Invitational in 5 sets. Kemmerer lost 3-0 to Idaho Falls and 2-0 to Malad, Hillcrest, and Star Valley. Their 2 wins coming against Evanston in that tournament. Previously, they've had wins against Tongue River, Rocky Mountain, Little Snake River, Fort Washakie, and Wind River as well. Their first win coming against Shoshone, and that is a conference opponent for them. For Kemmerer, they will be ramping up the conference season this Saturday as they will play Shoshone on the road. Oh, no, it's at here. It's actually at home. 12 o'clock start time for that contest. Shoshone will come here for a conference meeting against Kemmerer. On Lyman's side, well, their most recent tournament was the 3A state preview in which they made it to the gold bracket and maybe didn't finish out exactly how they wanted to, but nonetheless, they were there with the final 8 teams on day 2. They lost their first gold bracket quarterfinal matchup to Pinedale, a team they will take on again on Thursday. And that was a 2-0 loss. They defeated Powell 2-0, and then in the consolation final, lost 2-0 to Warland, another team that they will be seeing throughout this season. And before long, we'll be seeing a matchup with that. So overall on the year, Lyman sitting with a winning record of 11-7, and according to Max Preps, the 22nd ranked team in the state of Wyoming. As for Kemmerer, they're ranked at number 41. Matchup today, first between these teams and only that we will see this season. We were with Kemmerer and Mountain View a couple of weeks ago for a match that went 3-0 Mountain View's way. So for Lyman, we'll see if it's a repeat of Uinta County victories or if the home court has a little bit of magic for the Kemmerer Rangers. And we will find out a little bit more about that when we come back, when we hear from Paige Becker, head coach of the Kemmerer Rangers. After that, we will hear from Brescia Hansen and close things out with Sierra Heaton, a back row defender for the Lyman Eagles. This is the First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball, live and online at mylocalradio.com.
When I was in foster care,
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
I've got Paige Becker with me, head coach of the Kemmerer Rangers volleyball program, and I caught up with you a couple of weeks ago when there was a Mountain View Kemmerer contest in Uinta County. Now we move over to your side of things, coming into the home of the Rangers, and a couple of weeks later as you're looking to take on Lyman in this contest. What have you been working on since I last saw you out on the court?
We've been traveling to a lot of tournaments, and so we've spent a lot of time in practice working on those things we saw that needed improvement from those various tournaments. A few things we've really spent extra time working on in particular have been covering our hitters, being quicker on defense. We've been working on watching our hitters and reading whether they're swinging at us, tipping at us, and making sure we're reading those things early enough that a weak spot of us so far has kind of been our communication and talking on the court. So we've really been making sure that's something we've focused on and are actively practicing all the time.
Well, I'm looking down your schedule and I see a couple of contests this past weekend where you were able to beat Evanston in 5 sets.
Yep, it was Star Valley. So we went to a tournament in Wyoming, Indiana a few weeks ago, and then we just went to Star Valley this last weekend. And they both ended up being really great tournaments to go to, and we saw a whole bunch of teams from the other side of the state, and then while we were at Star Valley, we saw even teams from up in Idaho. And so while we were in Wyoming, Indiana, we were excited to get wins against Washakie, Tongue River, Little Snake River, and Rocky Mountain. And then we beat Hillcrest and Evanston at the Star Valley tournament. So it was really good to go over and just compete with all these different teams and get different looks at things. And we did end up playing 5 sets against Evanston, but we're super happy to get the win at the end.
And you get to see some teams like Idaho Falls and Star Valley as well, whereas you don't come out on top of them. You get to see for your team some really good looks of some power attacking teams. As a whole, how did you evaluate your team's experience at the Star Valley Invitational?
I think the girls were pretty nervous going into the Star Valley game just because they knew that they had some pretty good hitters for them. And I was super impressed with how we came out. We were moving our feet, and I was excited to see our back row and our defense actually getting a lot of those hits up, and we were able to get some offense going off of those. And I think they ended up even surprising themselves because at the end they were pretty excited, pretty happy with the progress they'd made. And I would say I was certainly proud of the things I saw. And we were able to take things that we needed to work on from the game, but we were able to give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back to also be able to go up there and compete with them.
What have you worked on in practice the last week or so as you're continuing to try and develop this program to get ready for the conference season?
We've just kind of been working on things all the way around. We actually have a pretty good team of servers, so now we're just kind of getting into spot serving. And like I said, moving our feet in the back row and making sure we are reading those hitters from the other teams in a timely manner to be able to adjust our defense and not be caught off guard. And I would say that our hitters have been really focused on their approaches and making strong contact on their hits and finding open spots on the court. And so thankfully we've had a few weeks of practice under our belt now, and so it's just really been working on all skills and really fine-tuning the stuff that we knew we needed to work on in particular.
That's Paige Becker, head coach of the Kemmerer volleyball program. Thank you very much for joining us again.
Thank you. Have a good one.
We'll be right back with Brescia Hansen of the Lyman Eagles as we get set for Kemmerer versus Lyman volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com. First bank presentation of Eagles Sports.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on MyLocalRadio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
I have Brescia Hansen, head coach of the Lyman Eagles volleyball program, with me after a 3A state preview. You've seen just about everyone out there in your classification, and you've seen your team take them on. What were your overall takeaways from that event?
Well, my overall takeaway from the event as a whole is that I think that it's anybody's game this year. I think there's a lot of teams that would be vying to be the top dog. With that being said, Rollins probably returns the most experienced players. But between Rollins and then there's Warland beat us twice. Pinedale is solid. Mountain View was in the championship. Douglas is always a contender. I mean, it just seems like it's really anybody's game at any given time. I didn't get to watch Lander, but I sure expect them to be tough too. So yeah, that was my overall impression. Was there's just a lot of teams out there, and on any given day, anybody can win.
With your team, are you seeing a little bit at this point in the season some sets, and I guess not even sets, some strings of points there, everything's flying, and then it disappears for 4 or 5? Is consistency still a focus as you're moving forward?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, those little games to 21, if you let go a string of points, you're going to feel it. And we did that. We were right there with Warland on Saturday and just couldn't finish up either one of those games. And the same thing with Pinedale. We were right there with them and just couldn't shut the door and get the job done. And so yeah, I mean, side out percentage, that's a stat that we look at quite a lot, and we get stuck sometimes, and that is something we're going to have to continue to work through.
You do get Sierra Heaton back for this game. She was cleared, but she has been practicing with your team. She just wasn't cleared to play, right?
That's correct. Yeah, she was released to play in a brace, and the brace was not, legal to play with on the court. So, in the matches.
With this contest that you have against Kemmerer this week, it's kind of a last brush up before you jump into some conference play on Thursday. So, what are you looking to get out of this matchup?
Well, I'm hoping we can work some of the kinks out from over the weekend. We were able to just have I had a small practice yesterday. My kids are still tired from the weekend, but yeah, I'm hoping that we can kind of our focus this week is on side out percentage and on finishing close matches. That was my focus in practice yesterday and will be tomorrow, and I hope that we can do that tonight. If we find ourselves in a tight situation with Kemmerer, that we can keep our cool about us and finish the match. So,
considering how some of those streaks ended out against your favor, are you happy to go back to best to 25 and then best 3 out of 5 sets?
Yeah, I think so. I'm hoping that will be beneficial to us, because those little sets, sometimes we just couldn't quite close it. And so, I don't know, maybe my team's more of a marathon team than a sprint team. So we'll see about that tonight.
That's head coach Brescia Hansen for the Lyman Volleyball program. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Now let's move on with our segment of Meet Your Eagles as we hear from Sierra Heaton, who is back in action and able to play tonight. Caught up with her early on in the season, and we'll hear from that interview right now.
I have Sierra Heaton with me of the Lyman Volleyball team, a senior. You just started school. What are you excited about for your senior season?
I'm just excited to be playing with a different team and getting to know different people and how they hit and how they play.
What about your year as a whole in school?
I'm excited about it, but also nervous about it. I don't know exactly how I feel about being a senior and growing up.
So that's what you're nervous about, not classes, just getting older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you figured out a way to slow that down?
No.
I was hoping you had. Do you know where you're going to college yet?
I'm thinking about Utah State.
Why there?
My family has a background of going to Utah State, and I've had family living up there, and I've always just loved living up there and loved being up there.
What interests you as far as subjects?
Music, for sure.
So do you want to do that in college?
Probably something like that, or I'm thinking about going into maybe teaching.
What do you play? You play like the tuba or something?
My voice, and I play the piano.
Okay, so not the tuba.
No.
I've never met a real tuba player, so I was hopeful.
Yeah.
So piano and voice. So you obviously are in the choir as well then?
Yes, I'm in audition choir.
What is your favorite thing about your position? First of all, tell everyone what your position is.
I am a setter / right side, and I don't know, I've just always loved getting to know how the other hitters hit and to getting used to how they're hitting and how high or low I have to set it to them.
What's the toughest thing?
Probably actually setting Mandy, because she's a lefty and she's the only lefty I've ever had to set.
Why is that so much more difficult?
You have to push. She's an outside, so you have to push it out farther. So,
who puts an outside at? Who puts a lefty at outside?
A coach.
A really, really good coach, right?
Oh yeah.
That's Sierra Heaton, senior setter for Lyman. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness. Whatever it is you need, Bradshaw's can probably help. The Come On In of Casper. When it comes time to cheer on your Buffs or Eagles at state, the Come On In is your best bet for a great night's stay. Auto Farm Chevrolet in Evanston. General Manager Dennis Lynch invites you to come and experience a community-driven dealership. Evanston Regional Hospital. Quality health care close to home. Bridger Valley Motor. Got a check engine light blinking? Don't guess at what the problem is. Take it to Slim at Bridger Valley Motor in Lyman and achieve sports medicine and physical therapy. No excuses, just results. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
Welcome back to Kemmerer High School as we are hearing from the loudspeaker right now, the announcer down the floor thanking some of the teachers. The volleyball team is giving some opening appreciation to 4 Kemmerer High School teachers and have some nice notes of appreciation for how they helped them in the classroom. We are just about 3-4 minutes away from the start of this contest. We can run now through the starting lineup for the Lyman Rangers. The Lyman Eagles. Mandy Ayer and Bryce Hansen are your outsides. Kendall Dickerson and Madison Harris are your middles. Emma Nelson is your right side. Your setter, Brooklyn Walker. Libero, Raven Heaton. And DS is Sierra Heaton. Charles C. Rose may see some time, as well as could some Elson. We'll see if Emma Nelson is, in fact, that right side. There's been some changing around of this Lyman rotation from the very beginning of the season. Then there was an injury. Sierra Heaton's now back. So I'm told she'll be playing back row today, and that would make me think that Emma Nelson will be in the front. For Kemmerer, we have Jillian Tibbetts and Kyla Pollard at outside, Kenley Plowman and Olivia Nelson at middle. Right side's Kalia Gray and Austin Benson, Audrey Castia right side as well. Also some of them setting. Aspen Pollard, a setter. Libero, Kinsey Painter, and DS is Charity Chamberlain. I talked to head coach of the Kemmerer Rangers, Paige Becker, beforehand. She said there's no changes from a couple of weeks ago. So we will run with that, and if there are any changes, then we will adjust. But she anticipates seeing those players out there. It's a long rotation for this 9 and 12 Kemmerer team. Now let's take one final break. We'll be back with the final thoughts before the start of this contest, starting lineups, and all that, the first serve. When we return, this is a First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
National anthem has been sung, so we are just starting lineups away from the beginning of this contest. The homestanding Kemmerer Rangers will start set number 1 on the left side of the net here in their home gymnasium. Dark red jerseys with black numerals, and they almost look like they're not much sheen. A lot of volleyball uniforms have more of a sheen look to them. These more of a matte finish on that red, and the black numerals, black shorts. For Lyman, white jerseys and black numerals, actually. I always go back and forth between those. It looks like black to blue numerals. Eagles across the back. Nike brand swoosh on the right shoulder. And a little stripe that goes from one side of the waist to the other up to the back shoulder blade going up the sides. Starting lineups first announced for the Lyman Eagles. And this will be presumably the first rotation that we see. Mandy Ayer, Bryce Hanson, Brooklyn Walker, Kendall Dickerson, Madison Harris, and Raven Heaton, the libero, will check in shortly. We'll see from her. She is in that neon highlighter green jersey for Lyman. On the Kemmerer side, the starting lineups first listed, and out there at number 2, the junior setter Aspen Pollard. After that, it's Jillian Tibbetts, an outside hitter, a junior. And Kyla Pollard, also an outside hitter, wears number 7, a junior as well. The outside hitters for Kemmerer looking for a little bit of improvement in the numbers as they're hitting a combined, between the two of them, negative .066 and 0.72 on the hitting percentage. Also out, Kenley Plowman wears number 12, a junior, with a 0.98 hitting percentage. Olivia Nelson is announced as well, a 181 hitting percentage for her. She's a middle blocker, wears number 14, and a sophomore. Kalia Gray, the right side hitter, wears number 11, a junior, and the libero Kinsey Painter in the black jersey, black shorts. To round out the starters, Lyman will be on the right side of the net, Kemmerer on the left. Also happening on our station at mylocalradio.com is Evanston and Rock Springs playing. And Evanston has just dropped the second set to Rock Springs. Both of those not very close either, as they do get a first point in set number 3. But Rock Springs in inter-region play looking to come out with a road victory. Those used to be conference meetings, and just like we went to quadrants here at 3A, the Southwest Quadrant is Northwest Quadrant. They go into the region, the 2 and 2. At the 3A level, you're used to it. For 4A, that's a lot of new stuff for these teams now entering their second year of that. Quadrant play will begin for Lyman on Thursday with a home meeting against Pinedale. Lyman took on Pinedale on day 2 of the gold bracket competition, lost in 2 sets. However, the second set was a very close one. That team led by the outside hitter, Jamie Strite. Opening serve is Kemmerer's, I believe. No, it looks like it's Lyman's, actually, as Brooklyn Walker, the setter, behind the red line. Where's number 13? Waiting for the rotation. The down official with the volleyball on Kemmerer's side, checking the rotation. Allows Painter to check in for Nelson, the middle blocker. Rotation checked and clear on Kemmerer's side. Now on to Lyman. You will have Emma Nelson up front to start, along with Kendall Dickerson and Bryce Hanson. And then in the back line, Mandy Ayer, Madison Harris, and serving Brooklyn Walker. Down official checks both rotations. Everything's clear. No libero to start for Lyman. And we are underway with the serve into the net by Brooklyn Walker. That's how this contest begins, with the service error for Lyman. And it's 1-0 Kemmerer. Welcome on our brand new sponsor, the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. As Kinsey Painter sends one over and for an ace off the hands of Madison Harris. Benedict's Market and True Value joined our team last Friday in the second quarter of our football game. So we got them in on the fly now, have that brand new graphic up and in. Painter serves with a 2-0 lead. Attack outside from Bryce Hanson, and it deflects off of Painter and Pollard and goes for a kill. First point of the contest for Lyman. 2-1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Puts Bryce Hanson in the back line to serve. And Mandy Ayer jumps up and outside at the front row. Good serve over back to left side. Pollard to the right. Kalia Gray hits it hard and out of bounds. And the point goes to Lyman. 2-2 the score. All even up on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Serve back to Hansen. She takes that just right of center. Floating serve on the jump over. Pollard at the 10-foot line, sets at the middle to Nelson. She knocks it into the net. And I mentioned the hitting percentages for Kemmerer coming into this contest. Pretty low across the board, but leading the way is Olivia Nelson with a 181 on the attack. Pollard bump sets for Kemmerer up high on the outside. Nelson pushes back line. Bryce Hansen is called for a double hit. And the return air gives a lead back to Kemmerer, 3-2. Talking to head coach for Lyman, Brescia Hansen, consistency continues to be that big thing to try to get to in practice and in games. Got to get that consistency up. Outside attack this time from the lefty Air. Her first attack of the game goes for 0. Outside, Kalia Gray blocked down, and it's Mandy Air and Kendall Dickerson. Give credit to Dickerson there on the block. Puts the point for Lyman, and the score is the Eagles 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Dickerson, a good server, goes back out of the middle position. She'll check out after her serving run, but she does get that. It's over to the middle. Nelson long and out of bounds, an attacking air for Olivia. Puts us at 5-3. The score, Lyman on top. First set action here live from Kemmerer, Wyoming. Lyman again back in action this Thursday with a home match against Pinedale. That will open up quadrant play for them. Bump set from Pollard to the back line. Painter with the design libero attack. Walker at the center for Lyman to the lefty Air. It's a good setup, and she gets a cross quarter. Picked up in the back line. Hit over by Pollard and down for the kill on a cross court shot. Kyla Pollard with the first kill of the contest for Kemmerer. 3 attacking airs already for the Rangers, but they get their first kill to make the score 5-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Welcome you listening in wherever you are from. And an ace serve by Kalia Gray goes shanked off the hands of Mandy Air. Second ace for Kemmerer. Serve back to Gray. 5-5 the score on the board. High return up, goes to the middle. Walker tied at the net. Outside, a push by Harris is blocked back. That from Nelson. Try it again. To the outside. Air tips it over the block of Nelson. And down for the kill. Mandy Ayers with the touch attack just over the block. Gives Lyman back the lead 6-5 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Well, here comes Sierra Heaton. She's got a little bit of a wrap on her right wrist as she had the injury to her thumb wrist area. Had to wear the brace, but was just cleared for play this week. She was cleared to play with a brace, but the brace had metal in it, so it was illegal by Wyoming rules. So she had to sit out the 3A preview and the rest of the Border Wars prior to that. Attack from Air is returned over and just over the net and out of bounds. Point to Air and the Lyman Eagles on the kill. Second kill for Mandy Air gives a 2-point advantage to Lyman. 12 points in, and Sierra Heaton, a senior who we heard from pregame, sets up to serve again. Line drive picked up high. Pollard on the return up. No, that was Tibbetts. And an ace serve as they can't quite get it. Timeout taken by Paige Becker for Kemmerer. 8-5 the score on the board. And it's scoreboard's brought to you by Benedict's Market and True Value. Back in 30 seconds on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
8-5 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board in favor of the Lyman Eagles on the road today. Kemmerer getting a home contest in interclassification 2A versus 3A play, both from Southwest conferences, but Kemmerer from the 2A, Lyman from the 3A. A run in tow for Lyman as we welcome you back to the home of the Rangers. Sierra Heaton with her third serve. Pops it over the net. Lyman in the white jersey serving to Kemmerer in the red on the left side of the net. 3 bumps and over. That one by Tibbetts. A first return up by Hanson to Walker. The middle. Harris tips it over 2 blockers. A diving play made by Gray. Nelson returns it tight on the net and a tip down by Jillian Tibbetts. And the junior gets her first kill of the contest to make it 8-6. It was not a setup for Tibbetts to get an attack. It was returned right at the top of the net. A little joust happened, and Tibbetts got to it first and comes up with the score. Olivia Nelson with an ace. The sophomore will serve again. Knocked it off the arms of Raven Heaton. Third ace already for Kemmerer in the set. Setting up to serve again. A little jump power attack, and Heaton returns it into the net, and back-to-back aces for the sophomore Olivia Nelson. Well, what Nelson's doing, she's getting it just over the net. She's a tall player, probably somewhere at 6 foot or just a bit north of it. She can get a high angle of attack and a downward trajectory on that serve. She powers it again, this time at Hanson at the middle back position. High return and a bump set from Walker. Madison Harris, deep cross quarter, picked up by Pollard, but a second hit by Tibbetts, no good, and the point to Lyman. 9-8 the score. Lyman on top after a little bit of a run to tie it up by Kemmerer. Score brought to you by Benedict's Market and True Value. Mandy Ayer back to the back line, close to an ace. Nothing called there on the double hit there by Plowman. Back on Lyman's side. Set from Hanson out of system. Bump over by Madison Harris. Kalia Gray to the middle. Plowman winds up long out of bounds. And point back to Lyman. 10-8 the tally. Four attacking errors already for Kemmerer. For Lyman, they do not have an attacking error yet. Shanked return, just picked up. A third bump from Gray, not over. Mark it down as an ace for Mandy Ayer. 11-8 the tally on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Ayer setting up for a third serve. She goes for just the straight form serve. Don't need anything fancy here, and she has one ace with it. Plowman at the middle. Diving play made by Heaton to keep it in play. Hanson again cross, 2 blockers. Goes down the cross court sharp and hit it in the back corner of that 10-foot line, sideline combination area. And second kill for her, 12-8. A little bit of separation picked up for Lyman. Up by 4. Serving over. Plowman with the first return outside. Pollard goes off a blocker and a kill. Pollard gets fired up. Point back to Kemmerer with her second kill. First kill in system. Mandy Ayer took a quick run down to the bench. Back out to the court, and the serve received 5 in the back line. Sierra Heaton and Raven Heaton being guarded by the back 3 of Hanson, Ayer, and Harris. Brooklyn Walker dump sets it over. Picked up by Gray. Outside to Pollard. Kyla returned over the net. And a touch from Raven Heaton just keeps it alive. Mandy Ayer tries to tip it over. It does. A long roll over the net. Back outside, though, immediately to Pollard. A high diving attempt from Hanson. And Raven Heaton goes skidding down to the ground near the scorer's table and serves it out on the return up 12-10. Kemmerer keeping it close on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Certainly not a boring one here. A lot of back and forth, and into serve is number 5, Charity Chamberlain for Kemmerer. Cross quarter, and it's returned back over the net by Kemmerer. That was the attack to Hanson. She gets another one. It's deflected at the net. Picked up by Painter. Push over the net. On the return over, it was Austin Benson. Brooklyn Walker back to Hanson for a third try. This one returned over the net again, and again inbounds. Sierra Heaton to Walker to the middle. Harris winds up against 2 blockers. Finds some space in the back right corner. And it's point to Lyman, 13-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. 5 kills in the set for Lyman, 13 points in all. 13-10 the score. Raven Heaton on the bench. So no libero in as Madison Harris back to serve, the senior for Lyman. Bump set from Kalia Gray. A 10-foot line, flat-footed attack over by Plowman. Hansen tumbles to the ground as she gets a bump over on it. Dickerson over the net, back to Kemmer. At the 10-foot line, Gray back sets to Benson. And it's a kill for Austin Benson. She tipped it off the hands there of Hansen, attacking from the right side. 11 points for Kemmer, down by just 2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Aspen Pollard back into the contest, a junior setter for Kemmer. Benson back to the bench after her kill. Shanked return and picked up. Bryce Hansen tips it into the net on an awkward setup where Brooklyn Walker did not have many options but to just try to bump set it up. 13-12 the score. Punch over from Pollard. It's a 1-point differential. On the board, back set Walker to Dickerson. Winds up on the run on a little slide attack. Pollard bump sets to the middle. It's Plowman finding a big wide open hole. Mandy Ayers gets her knees buckled as she tries to make a reaction in time, but it's knotted back up. 26 points in, not a bit of separation either way on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. First kill for Kinley Plowman. Pollard again serves. Madison Harris with the first touch up. High bump set from Walker. Chance for a good attack. Bumped off the net on the attack from Hansen. Try it back to Pollard. And it's picked up back middle to Air. Hansen on a bump set again. Cross quarter. It's good return by Chamberlain. To the middle this time. Plowman skies up. Blocked by Dickerson. Dive and saved by Kinsey Painter. Keeps us in play. 13-all. Still going on the rally. Back to the middle. It is a high middle attack that sends out of bounds by Kendall Dickerson. And the lead back to Kemmer. 14-13 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Aspen Pollard continues to serve. High setup from Walker. Hansen gets deflected at the net. Return over. Dickerson opts to tap it up into the air. Allows Gray to get a return up on it. Plowman deflected, and it's returned over the net. Out of bounds, and a wise decision by Mandy Ayer, the only person in the back line there, to say, look at the line, and it's heading out of bounds. Won't touch it. Tied up. 14-all on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. First set action here live from Kemmer. Lyman serving Kemmer from right to left. Just over the net, it's Brooklyn Walker. Blocked from Dickerson. A great run by Gray to keep it in play. A lot of hustle shown by Kemmer early on to keep a lot of hard attacks from Lyman in play. And an attacking air from Hansen ends that point, and it goes Kemmer's way. 15-14. Kinsey Painter, the libero, back to serve. Red headband on her head. Smacks it over the net. Hansen with the return and the first attack. Cross quarter, inbounds by a hair. And point back Lyman. 15-all on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. 3 kills and 2 hits into the net for Hansen in this opening set. She goes back to serve. Mandy Ayer opposite her in the rotation, in at outside hitter along with Dickerson and Emma Nelson. Tied on the net. A tip over by Olivia Nelson goes over the heads of Emma Nelson and point back to Kemmer. 16-15 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Serve over. Mandy Ayer with the return for Lyman and the ensuing attack. And a kill for Ayer as she went over 2 blockers with a little touch. Aspen Pollard, the backline defender, as the setter, tried to get a punch up, and it just went off the foot of Kyla Pollard there. Kill to Ayer is her 3rd. Dickerson with the serve up at the middle. Nelson fires from the middle and terminates behind Dickerson. 17-16. Kemmer leads it by 1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Nelson with 2 kills in her last couple of attacks. Ball rolls under the net, picked up by Nelson, thrown back to Kalia Gray, who has the serve for the Rangers in red. Heaton, that being Raven with the first touch up. Brooklyn Walker, backline set up to Hansen. It's over on a roll shot. Back to Nelson. She got a kill last play and gets a second in a row here, 3rd of the contest. Olivia Nelson gives Kemmer a 2-point advantage in this first set. 18-16 the tally on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Serve from Kalia Gray misses. Out of bounds by about 10 feet. Sierra Heaton checks in for Emma Nelson. One-point differential on the board. Lyman trailing as Heaton serves over to Kemmerer. High setup, and it hits the antenna on the attack from Jillian Tibbetts. Tied back up, back-to-back airs for Kemmerer. Second serve for Heaton. Sierra rolls it over. Shanked return by Painter, and Nelson still gets a deep corner push attack, just out of bounds though. Raven Heaton looked like she wanted to get on a bump up on it, missed though, or pulled back at the last second. And it goes out of bounds. 19-18 Lyman on top of Kemmerer. Third serve for Raven. She goes back middle. Gray sets up to the middle. Nelson punches it over. Good return up by Hansen. Leaves Walker with options. Opts for outside, blocked at the net by, it was Nelson there. Air with a second attack. This corner deep push. Painter with the first touch up, bump set by Gray. And it's Tibbetts over the net. To the middle, Harris winds up and is stuffed, blocked down by the sophomore Olivia Nelson. 20. No 19 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. 3 kills and a block in the set for Nelson, along with 2 aces. She serves, it's over, and returned onto Kemmerer's side. Gray to the right side, a missed set by Kalia. Leaves Benson without any options. Goes for an attacking air for Benson, but that's really a passing air on the setup. 20-19, Lyman takes the skinny point advantage in these crucial late points. Serve over by Mandier. Gray sets up to the middle. Plowman can't get to it, so Tibbetts bumps it over. Air with the first touch up. Brooklyn Walker outside. Tied on the net on the setup. Hansen just over. A double hit called on Raven Heaton. And the block down for Austin Benson. Well, the way this set's gone, 20-20 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard, not too much of a surprise. Charity Chamberlain into serve in place of Jillian Tibbetts. That puts Kyla Pollard up into the front line at the outside position for Kemmerer. On the outside for Lyman, a sharp cross by Bryce Hansen is a kill. 4 in the set for Hansen gives Lyman a 1-point advantage. 21-20. Madison Harris back to serve. Punches it over. High return up. That was from Pollard. She gets the attack for Kemmerer. Goes deep corner push. Touches out of bounds. Looked like it was on the red line there, but the call on the line judge gives the point Lyman's way. And a serve into the net for Harris. Gives the ball back to the serve of Kemmerer. 22-21, Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Serve to Aspen Pollard. Good return from Harris. Well, it goes a little bit to the right of where Walker wanted it. Roll shot from Hansen. 22-21, outside and a windup. Tied on the net, blocked down by Kendall Dickerson. The block of Dickerson stuffs Pollard's attempt back down. Her second block of the set, and it's 23-21 on the board. Substitutions brings Olivia Nelson back into the game for Kemmerer. And no, it's a timeout taken, as Nelson was jumping back out. A delayed reaction from Lyman's side. 23-21, the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Back in 30 seconds on a First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
This is an interclassification contest between Kemmerer and Lyman, 3A versus 2A, but a great student section on a Tuesday evening. Has it feeling like an early season matchup with implications. Well, you got pride on the line. These teams only see each other once. And right now, 23-21 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Lyman with the lead and the serve. Brooklyn Walker sends it over to Kemmerer, left side of the net. Pollard to the middle. Plowman winds up, goes over two blockers. Picked up by Walker. Set up from Nelson to Hansen. Sharp cross. Chamberlain with the first touch up on it. And 3 bumps and over for Kemmerer. Pollard with that third bump over. Walker to Hansen to terminate and finish it. Yes, she does. Set point number 1 coming Lyman's way. 24-21 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Brooklyn Walker to serve. Lyman with just 1 ace in the set. Kemmerer with 4 could lose this one by that final amount. Outside attack from Pollard. It's a 0 attack to the back middle. Hansen to end it. No, a great save from Painter. Bump over, just over the net. That was picked up by Pollard. Tight on the line, and a return from Hansen. Hits the net and falls down right there. So set point number 2 for Kemmerer. For Lyman, excuse me. It's 24-22, set point number 2 for Lyman. Kemmerer serving. Painter with it over to Lyman. Walker sets up outside. A little tap over by Hansen. Dive and save from Pollard. Nelson punches it up high over on the Lyman side of the net. 24-22, Nelson is blocked. And it's picked up in the back line from Walker. 10-foot line attack on her back foot. Hansen gets it over. Pollard again to the middle. Winding up is Nelson. It's out of bounds even though Mandier missed it. And for her, she's saying, well, thank goodness I did. 25-22. No, they say Mandier did get it. Back line judge said it was out of bounds. And a touch called for Kemmerer, so not quite yet. Set point number 3. The reaction from the student section on the delay is what set me off that something may have been changed. Kinsey Painter serving to Lyman on set point number 3. Let's serve over. Saved by Dickerson to keep it alive. Right side attack. Nelson is back middle to Painter. Pollard to the middle. They've gone heavy to Nelson, and she ties it up. We're at deuce. Pollard with back-to-back kills ties us up at 24 apiece, and a timeout taken. Olivia Nelson, 2 kills in a row. 24-24 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
24-24 as we welcome you back to Kemmerer. And Kemmerer High School has just tied it up on a 3-point run. Kinsey Painter serving over to Lyman and goes into the net out of the break. It is set point number 4 for Lyman as they will get the serve back. Back-to-back kills from Olivia Nelson. One that was out of bounds but ruled a just barely touched by Mandier, kept us playing. Serve from Bryce Hansen, tied over the net, and a dig out by Pollard, keeps it legal. Hansen on for Lyman. Walker to the high and outside, set up to Mandier. It's dug out, but a third bump is nearly impossible to get it over. A kill for Air ends it as Lyman gets 2 straight points out of the break to win it on set point number 4. 26-24 the final. Air with the kill. And a good near block for Nelson, just couldn't quite get it back over to the net. Back with set 2 action in a couple of minutes. 26-24 again, the final in set number 1 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. And this is a First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball live and online at MyLocalRadio.com.
The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond.
We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNY on 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to mylocalradio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNY 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at mylocalradio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Well, if we have action similar to how that first set went, we could be in for a long contest today, as despite the loss there, Kemmerer came back from a 3-point deficit at 24-21 to tie it up at 24 apiece, gave up 2 straight points to then eventually lose 26-24, but leading the way at the middle blocker position, Olivia Nelson, 5 kills, including back-to-back ones, to tie the contest up. One of them was a mistake on the Lyman side. Mandy was diving to make a play. She missed on it, she thought, and then it went out of bounds. And she looked like she got away with something as the line judge called out of bounds, and then it was overruled to say there was just a grazing of her hand that got the touch there. So then another kill by Nelson following that play tied us up. For Lyman's side, Bryce Hansen and Mandy Ayer were a dynamic duo on the outside position for Lyman in the first set. 5 kills from Hansen, 4 from Ayer. And let's not forget about Kendall Dickerson in the middle. She got a couple of blocks to earn some points for Lyman as well. These are 2 teams playing at an even clip, and we'll see. I would be surprised if we went 3 sets unless, of course, there's that momentum shift that sometimes you play a team so close that you kind of give it all in a set. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kemmerer come out of the gates here with a lot of confidence with how they performed in the first set. Lyman as well, though, finishing out and closing out strong. Another contest on our mylocalradio.com network is Rock Springs has swept Evanston in their first inter-conference play of the season. Northwest region versus Southwest, 3 straight sets. Evanston falls to Rock Springs. Ready for second set action here in Kemmerer, and it starts just the way the first set did with a Plowman service air into the net. It was Brooklyn Walker with the air into the net in set 1. That was on Lyman's side to give Kemmerer the opening point. Just a few minutes before 8 o'clock here on mylocalradio.com. Outside attack, Nelson fires a hard one to the cross court. Picked up by Raven Heaton over the net, though. So give it back to Kemmerer. A return over the net is blocked down by Dickerson. Now Kemmerer trying to dig it up and over, and they do. Pollard keeps it in play. Back to Lyman. It's Dickerson at the middle. She hits hard and out of bounds, point to Kemmerer. And they take a 2-0 advantage on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Serve back to Kyla Pollard. Two kills for Kinley Plowman for Kemmerer, 1 in the first, 1 in the second. And the point went to Lyman. I don't know how. The score was, I thought they had the serve. Maybe not. Bryce Hansen back to serve here. Well, that point seems to be missing. No, never mind. That was first point went their way. I gave that the wrong way. All right, we're all good now. 2-1 Lyman. I had Kemmerer with the first point, and that's just not the way it went. Middle attack from Nelson. She gets the kill to knot us up at 2-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Kalia Gray serves over. And into the net, an ace for Gray. 3-2 to score. Kemmerer leading Lyman. Gray's second ace. She sets back just left of center. Punches it over to the back right side of Lyman. Picked up by Dickerson. Attack outside. Air is blocked. Back over the net on a return from Hansen. Onto Lyman's side after 3 bumps and over. Nelson sets up to Dickerson at the middle. Tips it off of the hand of 2 blockers. Tied on the net. And Nelson called for the double hit. One with her fist, one with the top of her head. And it's 3-3. Trying to dig it out of the net there for Nelson. Kendall Dickerson to serve. 3 scores all the way around. Make it 4 for Lyman, though, with the ace by Dickerson. Dickerson aces it, and it's 4-3 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Lofts it over, just inbounds. Painter with the first touch up. Gray dumps that over to the middle donut hole. Diving play made by Hansen to the outside. It's Air. Rolls it over 2 blockers. Deep line push up. Nobody gets a second dump after Kalia Gray. Bump sets it up and 5-3 Lyman. Broken play and missed communication there for Kemmerer to make it 5-3 in favor of Lyman on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Dickerson with the serve over. Gray calls off Benson. Tip over by Nelson. She gets her 3rd kill of the set. 5-4. 8 in all for Olivia Nelson. Kinsey Painter the server. The black libero jerseys to the right of the net. Hansen to Walker outside. Air winds up and misses long. And a net touch negates that play. That was called on Austin Benson. Takes the point away from Kemmerer and gives it back Lyman's way. And the serve goes their way as well. 6-4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. So an attacking error is negated by the net touch. And Heaton serves over for Lyman. Gray to the middle and outside over the line. As it's over the line, and despite, again, back-to-back would-be points for Kemmerer negated by net touching, and this time over that bottom line. That was on Jillian Tibbetts. Sierra Heaton serves again, but this time into the net. 7-4 becomes 7-5. The score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Charity Chamberlain serves to Heaton. Walker on one set to another. 10-foot line, middle attack from Air. Got some heat on it, but Painter was there. Loft over from Kyla Pollard. Long run for Walker to set up Air. Over 2 blockers, though. Knocked it over Benson and Plowman, and it's a point to Lyman. 8-5 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. 5 kills in the contest for Mandy Air. Lefty goes that little form serve over. Gray back bump set to Plowman. It was a little bit off, and that fooled Bryce Hansen at the middle. Harris steps up and comes up with a kill in a donut hole. Charity Chamberlain was diving forward for Kemmerer, but to no avail. 9-5 forces the timeout for Paige Becker, and the Kemmerer Rangers down by 4 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board on the First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
9-5 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard as we welcome you back to Kemmerer, Wyoming. Mandy Air serving over for the Eagles to Kemmerer. Bump set to the middle. It's Plowman winding up. Gets way under the ball as it goes back middle to Mandy Air. At the middle herself, Madison Harris is blocked and put down on the block there. Let's credit it to Kyla Pollard. Her first 2 kills for Pollard and a stuff down now. 9-6 the score. 1 point straight out of the break on the timeout from Kemmerer to the Rangers. Aspen Pollard serving. And bump set up high from Brooklyn Walker, tied on the net. A roll shot down the line at the middle position for Brooklyn Walker. For Brooklyn Walker to Bryce Hansen. Makes it 10-6. Walker set that ball high and tied on the net, so it took away a lot of opportunities for Hansen to do too much with it. So she rolled it over, and it worked. Plowman at the middle beats the block of Dickerson. Comes away with a shot down of her own. First kill of the set for Plowman, second overall. Kinsey Painter out of the contest. The libero for Kemmerer replaced in the back line to serve by Kinley Plowman. Jump serve straight middle. 10-7 the score. It's on Lyman's side. Walker back set, a slide attack for Dickerson. Deflected off the hands of Nelson, but the tooling of the block for Kendall Dickerson is her first kill. She has 2 blocks for a couple of points back in the first set, and she was very crucial with those couple of blocks. That's the difference between a win and a loss if you look at point by point, 26-24 for Lyman. Dickerson just a sophomore, providing good height at the middle and good reading of the attack. This time outside to Olivia Nelson. She says hello again, 4th kill of the set as Kemmerer's trying to climb on back. 11-8 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Mandy Air rolls the ball under the net and to the serving Pollard. Kyla in the back line to serve means we welcome Jillian Tibbetts back in at the front row. She's the outside hitter. Hansen at the 10-foot line, cross quarter, falls inbounds. It was like a sinker ball in baseball. It was headed way out, and then at the bottom just dropped out of it, and it found the back corner for the kill. After that attack, Hansen back to serve. Air, Dickerson, and Emma Nelson in the front line for Lyman. Hansen shoots it over and out of bounds. The serving game has probably been won by Kemmerer today. They just have 2 airs to 4 aces. Lyman with just 2 aces and 2 airs. And add another ace onto the board as it becomes 12-10 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Another ace there for Kalia Gray. Gray, a serving specialist, and I don't mean that by position. I just mean the way she's been serving today. 3 aces and nearly a 4th, but Walker digs it out of the net. Stuffed down by Olivia Nelson on the attack, though. Mandy Air had nowhere to go. 2 blockers on her, and Nelson with the height advantage kept her arms up there, and it's a 1-point differential. So at the midpoints again, it becomes close on the board. Hansen with a push up. Outside attack, this time a roll shot. Air couldn't get it over the block trying to power it through last time. So this time she puts it up a little bit and pops it over the top. 13-11. Lyman leading on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Hard serve from Dickerson over to Painter. The attack from Tibbetts just nearly kept in play by Hansen. And a kill from the back line, Bryce Hansen. From what? You got 10 foot and then another 10 foot. About 20 away from the net. Hansen on the flat foot punches it over for her 3rd kill of the set. Gives Lyman back a 3-point advantage. Kendall Dickerson serving. Lyman up 1-0. And Dickerson over back middle. High return. It's over the net. Touchdown by Madison Harris. And Mandy Air, by the reaction, it looks like Air was the player to get hands on it. Third serve for Dickerson, a 4-point advantage. Opened up for Lyman on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. She sends it through a miscommunicating back line for an ace. For Dickerson, her second of the set and of this serving run, 16-11. Paige Becker out near the court, giving some instruction to her team, which seems to be falling apart at the seams in this second set after a great first. Air attack to the corner is picked up by Pollard. Gray outside back to Tibbetts. Bounces it off the tape. Air gets the return and sets up for the attack. Instead they go right side. Emma Nelson hits it high and out. She got 100% under that ball. And in baseball, that's a good thing. Volleyball, you want to be a little bit on top of it. (12-16). Lyman on top on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Serve over goes to Hansen, and she gets the back line attack for a kill. Second back row attack of the set for Bryce Hansen. 17-12. She has 4 in the set, 9 in the game. Emma Nelson out. Sierra Heaton in as a server. 5-point lead, Lyman over Kemmerer. Shanked return, Pollard to Tibbetts. And a bump over on the third by Gray. On to Raven Heaton. She gets a perfect pass up to Walker. There's options. She chooses middle. Madison Harris goes long and out of bounds on the attack. 2 kills for Harris, her first air on the attack. 17-13 the tally. Kemmerer with a point back brings in Charity Chamberlain to serve as Jillian Tibbetts heads to the bench. Serve over, down by 4. Picked up from Hansen, then to Air. Try Hansen, she's got 2 kills in the back line. This will not be a third. Attack to Kemmerer. Plowman has to back up on the set. Diving save made by Hansen. Heaton, he returns it on a second, up into the net. So a point to Kemmerer. Chamberlain serves again. She sets up to the left of the key in the basketball court and serves far left side to the back middle. Hansen to Walker to Hansen at the back line. It's a kill for Bryce. Shot that one from the back line again. (18-14). Air serves. Just over. 3 kills in the back row for Bryce Hansen in that run of rotations. At the middle, an attacking Air out of bounds as Kenley Plowman sends it long. Well, we had a very close first set, and it was at the midpoints that it really tightened up, and it stayed that way. Not so much this time. Seems like Lyman's figured out some stuff and has settled down a little bit, and Kemmerer reeling with a little bit of communication issues. Maybe in need of a momentum burst. They could get it there with the Austin Benson stuff blocked down on Bryce Hansen. 19-15 the tally on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Back to serve is Pollard. She sends it over just inbounds and just beyond the 10-foot line. Forces a 2 and over for Brooklyn Walker on the dump. Outside attack. Pollard tails it over the line, and you cannot get a sharper cross than that, although it was on a dump over. The kill by Pollard hit the tape as it was rolling from her far left side, hit the tape at about the middle, and then fell down on the far left side of Lyman's court. Walker dumps it over, trying to get a kill herself, and she gets it. Add a kill for Brooklyn Walker. The setters don't get too many, but when they see the court and the opportunity, a good return fire there to take a 20-16 lead. Attack outside. Pollard would have been out of bounds. Returned up by Air, though. Mandy? No, it's Heaton returning over and out of bounds. Mandy Air signals the my bad. 20-17. So perhaps not a consequential error, but you never know because Kemmerer showed a lot of comeback today. And a block is just out of bounds Hansen with the attack. Nelson on the block, but it's killed to Hansen. 21-17. Came back on Lyman's side, but fell out of bounds. 6 kills in the set for Bryce. 21-17. This would have been a set winner at our weekend contest at the Rollins tournament. Bump from Nelson over to Pollard, but you played a 25 and best of 5 here the rest of the way. Dump over for Nelson. Lyman had their 3 tournaments. They're done at the Border Wars. Block up is not down. It's a kill for Kyla Pollard. Emma Nelson could not keep the block down. 4 kills for Kyla Pollard, and the score's at 21-18. Lyman started the year off at the Cokeville Invitational, then went to the Border Wars in Evanston a couple of weeks ago, and then last week was at Rollins for the 3A preview. A hit into the net, and Bryce Hansen is targeted with the air. Her first of the set. And here we go. Here come the Rangers. 21-19 with Kyla Pollard on the serve. Brings Tibbetts back into the front line for Kemmerer. Line drive serve over. Good return from Hansen. She calls for it. Instead, it's to the middle. And a stuff block down. Olivia Nelson sends the attack from Dickerson. Tailing down to the ground. It's 21-20. Awakens the student section here in Kemmerer. 3 blocks in the game for Nelson. A run from the right side, a slide attack by Hansen. Return fire, Nelson saved by air. Gets Kemmerer up and down for the kill, Bryce Hansen. 22-20. Well, it was a 5-point differential at those late midpoints, but here comes Kemmerer once again. 7 kills by Hansen. She's out of the front line and into the back, although she has 3 of her 7 kills in the set from the back row. Nelson winds up and fires from the middle. Wanting a touch, there is no oblige by the up official, and the point goes to Lyman as the shot sails out of bounds. A timeout taken. The final points of set number 2 when we return. 22 points to Lyman, 20 to Kemmerer on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard when we return on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
23-20, the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard, and the point going into the break on an out-of-bounds attack from Olivia Nelson. She's getting the attacks on the setups, but just missing her marks at the moment. And Bryce Hansen serves for Lyman, back right side. Kemmerer down to their last legs in the second set. It's back to Nelson, and again, the sophomore middle misses out of bounds, but a touch of the net called against Kendall Dickerson gives the point to Kemmerer. Would have been Nelson's 3rd shot out of bounds, but instead it's a net touch and a point to Kemmerer. 23-21. Shot from the 10-foot line. Air rolls it over 2 blockers. Bump set from Benson. Back to the middle. They're feeding Nelson. She gets a 0 attack to the back middle. Dickerson tries it herself at the middle position for Lyman. Picked up to Kemmerer. It's Tibbetts down the line in the corner, just out of bounds. Set point number 1. We were at 24-21 in set number 1 as the boos come in from the student section. Not agreeing with that call, but it surely was out of bounds. Dickerson serves. This was when Kemmerer came back late in the set at this point last time. And calling for a touch, Tibbetts gets it as it sails out of bounds. A touch called on Emma Nelson, I presume, and it keeps the play alive. Set point number 2 for Lyman. Serve to Kinsey Painter, 24-22. Lyman out of system. Hansen from the back line gets it to Painter. Back to Kemmerer. It's to the middle. Plowman shoots it back. It's Hansen with the first touch to Walker. Air on a high and outside attack. It's out of bounds, and we have a Freaky Friday, a replay of the first set. We're on to set point number 3, but Kemmerer can put us at deuce when we return out of this timeout. 24-23 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Kinsey Painter to serve, 24-23. And Lyman finally out of the huddle. They took every bit and about 10 seconds more of their time in that break. Lyman is at set point number 3, but Kemmerer with the serve. First touch up by Hansen to Air, trying to end it, beats the block, sharp cross at the 10-foot line. Tibbetts gets it over to Pollard and out to Air. Deep cross picked up by Gray to the outside. Tibbetts tools the block of Emma Nelson, and we have deuce again. As I mentioned, the omen of 24-21 for Lyman last set was how it started for Kemmerer to get it to 24 all last time, and that's exactly what happens in set number 2. Serve over for Painter to the middle. It's Air tipping over 2 blocks. The pancake is up. No, it is not. Ruled up for a second, and Tibbetts is pleading, saying it was surely up. And there comes the boos again from a great student section of Kemmerer. But nonetheless, the call is what it is, and it's set point number 4 for Lyman. Trying to go up 2-0. Sierra Heaton serves it up. Painter to the outside. It is Tibbetts with the attack. Outside Air. And she crosses it down off the arms of Painter. And set point number 4 is where Lyman takes care of it. So set 2, the same score as the first. 26-24, the final on the Benedict's Market True Value scoreboard. We'll be back with the third set when we return as the teams flip sides on a First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Dr. McKay Frankham, quality dental care at affordable prices. Yeager's Auto Body. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been at the top of the game in auto repair. Westar Printing in Evanston. No matter what you want printed, Westar is where you want it done. Reese Auto Service. From lawnmowers and snowblowers to cars, trucks, and semis, Reese Auto Service in Lyman does it all. Trona Valley Credit Union, member NCUA. Plains Tire in Evanston, Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at well child checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
2 sets and 26-24 scores on the Benedict's Market and True Value board, both of them heading Lyman's way. So the road team with the advantage as we head into set number 3. Kemmerer in the red jerseys, black shorts, is on the left side of the net. Lyman, white jerseys, black and blue numerals and lettering on the back, black shorts, on the right of the net. And with the opening serve is Lyman's setter, Brooklyn Walker. Underway as it's served over and in. Returned up on the first touch by Kalia Gray, and an attack to the right side by Gray. Gets the first kill. And point. Lyman is down by 1 to Kemmerer. Serve over from Kinsey Painter. Walker has options, opts outside, and off the block of Nelson goes Bryce Hansen for her 13th kill of the contest in just 2 sets and 1 attack worth of plays. 1-1, tied back up. Well, you see 2 26-24 scores go in the set 1, set 2. How often do you see it go both Lyman's way or both that one team's way? Well, I'd say more often than you might think. You see a lot of close games where that team that gets that first one just has that little extra oomph from last set and a little less pressure maybe on them. Gray, or no, that's Pollard setting up to Nelson over 2 blockers. Diving play made by Raven Heaton. Walker returns it at the net, falls back down on Lyman's side, and it's a point to Kemmerer. 2-1 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Raven Heaton high fives as she goes down to the bench and into the back line as Madison Harris along with Bryce Hansen, Kendall Dickerson returned over the net, touchdown. Dickerson makes a diving save. Walker to the back line. Hansen is blocked by Nelson. Nelson watched the 3 kills that Bryce got in that last set from the back row and read the hit in all the way, tapped it down, and no chance for a pickup on that play. 2 blocks in the last set, 4 in all for the sophomore middle blocker. Outside attack at the 10-foot line, make it 5 blocks. No, it's kept up by Lyman. Nelson nearly with another point down as Kemmerer leads it 3-1. Right side attack, Kalia Gray tools the block. It's returned over the net and a kill for Kalia as she knocked it off the hands of Mandy Air. 4-1 score, so how about the fight that Kemmerer comes out with here in set number 3, down 2-0. Backline push. Kicked up by Air to the middle. Nelson rolls it over a couple of blockers. Hit from Air. And is back on Kemmerer's side. Tibbetts touches it over. Back corner. Hansen's there. Walker, dump set. And is Painter in the back left side. 4-1 the score. And a middle set again. Nelson inbounds. 3 kills in the set for Olivia Nelson. Make it 2 kills. 2 for Gray, 2 for Nelson. 5-1 the score. And it's all Kemmerer in set number 3. Homestanding team getting a little push from a good home crowd here on a Tuesday evening as we are closing in on the 8:30 p.m. marker here on mylocalradio.com. Add a near ace to the tally, but it's just over by Lyman. Painter with the return up onto Kemmerer's side. Pollard misses outside. She tools a couple of blocks off of there and is a joust at the line. Won by the right side sophomore junior, Emma Nelson. So point Lyman. 5-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. It was between her and Jillian Tibbetts on the play. Serve into the net from Kendall Dickerson. Dickerson leading the way for Lyman with a couple of serving errors, or a couple of serving aces. Just 3 for Lyman today, the other one by Mandy Air. Kalia Gray serves over for Kemmerer. 6-2 advantage for the Rangers. Left side attack. Harris partially blocked by Nelson. Back on Lyman's side. Punch out of the net and not over. Too tight on the net, and 7-2 the score goes on a lot of errors for Lyman. And some good blocking and hitting from Kemmerer as the third set. All Rangers. Walker sets up to the backside. It's air. And that was backwards volleyball there taken by Brooklyn Walker. When you're a setter, you should always be facing towards the outside. That time she actually back set to the middle, and that puts everyone completely out of system. You see there, that kind of sets up for the block there. And goes 8-2 for Kemmerer. Walker to the outside and blocked again by Nelson. Wow, what a set for Olivia Nelson, 9-2. And yeah, force a timeout. Got to talk about this one. In a hole, trying to dig their way out. Lyman trailing Kemmerer 9-2 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We'll be back on this First Bank presentation on mylocalradio.com.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Point out of the break goes to Lyman. Has a little tight at the net and can't punch it over. Welcome you back to Kemmerer High School. Interclassification match, and 9-3 the score. Lyman taking the first sets and trailing in the third is Lyman, 9-3. So Kemmerer trying to stay alive, and a little roll shot over from Tibbetts to the middle on Lyman. It's a sky up for Madison Harris. She gets a 0. Back to Nelson. Back corner. It's Hansen with the first touch up. 9-3 the score. Air over 2 blockers. Rolls it into the hands of Pollard. Set up by Benson, and a bump over from Tibbetts to the middle. Trying to find a donut hole. Dump set. Walker. No. It's up. Diving play made by Pollard to the outside. Kemmerer actually gets an attack on it. Tibbetts to Walker. It's outside to Air. Roll shot down for the point. Kalia Gray, the only player heading down to the ground there, and she was a little bit away from it. 9-4 the score. Serve Sierra Heaton. She's coming back after missing the last several games with an injury where she was cleared to play but could not play with the metal brace that she had. Block from Nelson, keeps it on Lyman's side. 9-4. Bump over from Harris. Sets up Kemmerer with a middle attack from Gray to Nelson. It's 4 hits. She got all tape on the third. 9-5 as Lyman climbing back. Trails by 4. Out of the break, they were down by 6. Serve into the net from Sierra Heaton. Gives the point back to Kemmerer. 10-5 the score. That on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Olivia Nelson wanting to serve. Charity Chamberlain is going to have to play a rotation in the front line as they missed on the substitution for Tibbetts. They got there a little bit too early there, so Chamberlain's up in the front row at outside hitter. Let's see if they set her. No, instead it's to Plowman. Diving save made on the back middle attack. Hansen gets it up. Air over 2 blockers. Hands on from Benson. She gets the setup. Back to the middle. Kemmerer's without options right now on the outside with Chamberlain playing out of system. They can't set to her. Let's see if they have to try maybe though. Gray again to the back line. It's Nelson. Hansen returns it over the net. Plowman double hit as she tried to attack it. And a kill to Bryce Hansen. That is number 4 out of the back line for Bryce. in the kill department. 14 in the game. 10-6 the tally on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Back set, Benson goes right of the block of Hansen. No chance for Raven Heaton there. Good play by Benson. Haven't seen an attack from her in a while. She had a kill back in the first set. 11-6 the score. Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. Charity Chamberlain now into her natural position in that back line. Serving over and out. Just beyond the back right corner. Point back to Lyman. Serve over for Kemmerer. Down by 4 is Lyman. Outside, no middle attack. Plowman, long and out. She attacked from the 10-foot line, and she missed by about 4. 11-8. Lyman in comeback mode. Madison Harris serving. Charity Chamberlain to Kalia Gray. High bump set to Kyla Pollard. Deflected at the line. Kendall Dickerson had a hand on the play, and that took something off, and the backline defense was playing right at that red baseline. That allowed for, after the deflection, no chance to readjust. 12-8 the score. Air at the middle, Walker, back set, slide attack for Dickerson. Kalia Gray there. Punch over. And Air handles it, third over on the bump by Dickerson. Pollard to the right side, Kalia Gray hits it off the tape. That's not 4 hits, it's up and over. And Heaton keeps it alive, sends it over to Kemmerer's side. Pollard with the options to the middle. Plowman with a long and powerful approach and attack. She approached from about 16 feet back on the high 2 set, 13-8 the score on the attack from Plowman. 4 kills for Kinley Plowman. And 13-8. Lyman has already taken 1 timeout. Kemmerer has not taken 1. They've liked the momentum heading their way as it has. Hard attack from Hansen, picked up by Painter. Middle, Plowman bumps it up. It might have gone out of bounds, might have stayed in. Either way, Mandier wasn't willing to take that chance. Punch up from Bryce Hansen right on the net. And it's over and out. Not a whole lot you can do there. Pollard serving. Harris, good pass up to Walker. Outside try at Hansen. This time she beats the block. And a kill down for Bryce, number 15 of the game. 14-9 the tally. Lyman trailing Kemmerer by 5. Benedict's Market and True Value bringing the scoreboard. Ball went all the way to the concession stand, so the delay in play there as it's finally back on Lyman's side, and Sierra, or Brooklyn Walker, hits it into the net. Point right back to Kemmerer, 15-9 score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Kinsey Painter serving. The black libero jerseys for Kemmerer. Harris with the first touch. Walker outside to Hansen at about the 10-foot line. Painter with the first touch. Bump from Chamberlain and over by Pollard. Back left corner. Harris to Walker. Try Hansen again. 2 blockers on her. Sharp cross after the deflected block. Back over on 1 return to Lyman. This time a back set. Trying to flip the defense. Nelson goes over the line, but the block was down by Pollard anyways. We'll give her credit for the block. 16-9, looking ever more apparent that we may be headed to set number 4. 7-point advantage. Let's serve just over. Hansen dives, makes the play. Attack middle, punch up from Dickerson. Charity Chamberlain, she gets it out to her setter, Pollard, who goes down to the line to Kyla Pollard. And a kill for Kyla. She has 2 in the set, 6 in the game, a block in the set as well. 17-9 score. Kemmerer 3 games below 500. Getting set for conference play to start next week against Shoshone. Right here at home. Outside attack and a great dig out of the net by Nelson on a good attack from Bryce Hansen. This time to the middle. Nelson is overshot by Dickerson and it stays inbounds. Charity Chamberlain shanks it. Kill to Kendall Dickerson. 2 blocks in the first set for Kendall. 1 kill in the second and 1 kill now in the third. 17-10. points running out for Lyman, but they've been come back on a couple of times in the first couple of sets, seeing if they can repeat what they did against Kemmerer. Of course, both times, though, Lyman closed out Kemmerer in those made-it-close sets. Bump over via Olivia Nelson onto Lyman's side. High set to Air. Bounces it off the tape, and it works for a kill. Mandy Air well in line with 9 kills now. Sure, best set was the first. He had 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. 17-11. Bryce Hansen serving for a second time. Bump set from Pollard to the right. It's Kalia Gray at the 10-foot line, hitting it right into the net. 17-12. And Paige Becker takes her first timeout. Kemmerer timeout, 17-12 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. When we return, Kemmerer on top of Lyman. 5 points on this first bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Back here at Kemmerer High School, 17-12 the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bryce Hansen serving as we welcome you back to action. Lyman over to Kemmerer, tight on the net and no real chance to get it out on a high return. That is a result of a great serve, so that is an ace for Bryce. 1 point out of the break as Coach Becker for Kemmerer was trying to slow the tide of Lyman, but they get a point straight out, down by 4. Heaton with the first touch. That Raven to Brooklyn Walker. Outside Air beats a block and donut hole push. Great punch over, but out of bounds. Kalia Gray nearly with a point for Kemmerer, but it headed just out of bounds. She hit it where no one was, and had it been in, it would have been a point, but it was out. 17-14 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Bryce serves again for Lyman. 3-point advantage Kemmerer's way, trying to get some points back. And Olivia Nelson hits the antenna, so that's not it. 17-15, back to anyone set from a surefire. Force a fourth for Kemmerer. On the wrong side of a 6-point run by Lyman. Hansen continues to serve. Jump punch over. Painter shanks the return. Nelson maybe saves the play, and it's 3 and over. Hansen to Walker. Set up middle. It's Dickerson. Down on the block, but returned over the net at the Lyman side. A joust stays down on Lyman. Olivia Nelson had to run a long way after saving that shanked return on the serve to get back into a blocking position. And she did do just that. And kind of adjusted the attack of Dickerson. It was deflected, then sent right back over on Lyman's side. Point Kemmerer, 18-15. Air winds up, cross court kill, though, to get the point back for Lyman. 18-16. That's the score on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Lyman trails Kemmerer, but up 2-0 over the homestanding Rangers. Kendall Dickerson with the serve. It's over, back middle. Painter, high return, ace. It was almost up, probably at her biceps. Almost up to the deltoids on the return. 18-17. Dickerson with her third ace and a chance now to tie. Return is high, tied on the net. Pollard up to Nelson. She winds up off the hands of Madison Harris. Kill for Olivia Nelson. Her third of the set, but first in quite a while. 19-17, Kemmerer leads on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Kalia Gray to serve. Good hard serve and return behind Hansen. Bump set from Air. No chance for an attack on the front line, so Hansen goes for the back row attack. She has 4 kills back there. This one is not one of them. Nelson, power attack, return back over onto Kemmerer's side. Try it again, perhaps. They do, to the middle, and it's off the tape. Ruled a touch. That sure looked like 4 hits, so she gets a third one, and it's a broken play, but Kemmerer gets it. Lyman gets it just over. Try it to the outside this time. Tibbetts to a donut hole, and point to Kemmerer. Mandy Air must have just barely grazed that attack by Olivia Nelson because it was very low on the tape. Good return, outside attack from Air. Diving save made by Painter, onto Kemmerer. The attack, Tibbetts off the tape. Air is there. Back set to Emma Nelson. Yeah, wow, that looked like 4 hits. And ball don't lie. On the return hit, it's down on the ground. Raven Heaton shanks it under the net. 21-17. Timeout number 2 of the set taken by Lyman head coach Brescia Hansen. Down by 4 is Lyman to the homestanding Rangers on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Back with more after this on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Lyman getting some points back Kemmerer getting some points back as we welcome you back to home of the Rangers, Kemmerer High School. 21-17 on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard. It was a 6-point, make it 7-8, 8-point run for Lyman to go from 17-9 and an 8-1 run to 18-17, but now it's been 3 points all Kemmerer's way, 21-17. First attack from the back line, it's Hansen. Welcome back to action. Kemmerer on the middle and into the net. Nelson hits it. So the point to Lyman. The Eagles on the road are out of timeouts here in set number 3, down by 3 points. Sierra Heaton to serve for Lyman. Kalia Gray out. And Audrey Cassidy into the back row. For the first time by my eyes today, setting. Outside attack, Tibbetts into the net. Back-to-back attacking airs for Kemmerer out of the break. And it's a 2-point game. 21-19 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Sierra Heaton serves over. Shanked return. That was by Pollard. Nelson gets a second, and Pollard over on a third. Hansen to Walker, outside Air. Block was back. Nelson gets it stuffed down. Picked up by Raven Heaton to the middle. Harris just over. Nelson tumbles down to the ground after tripping over Tibbetts and into the net. That's the definition of a broken play. One player trips over another as your middle blocker goes tumbling down to the ground. Did not see Pollard. And 3 points in a row on another air by Kemmerer. A chance to tie for Lyman. 21-20. Heaton serves again. Line drive. Back left side. Picked up. Cassidy with the first touch and a serve over to Lyman. Set up the play to the middle. 2 blockers on her. Harris gets the shot over. Bumped over just by Tibbetts onto Lyman's side. Walker to Air. 2 blockers on her. She is sent down. Hansen saves it though. Quick reactions there by the sophomore. Nelson with the first touch. She wants the kill. Lines up from 14 feet back. But Tibbetts gets it and misses left of the antenna. 4 Kemmerer attacking airs in a row have tied this contest at 21. That's coming out of the break after the 21-17 timeout taken by Coach Brescia Hansen. 21 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. And a receiving miss by Painter, but it's just 3 bumps and over. Here's another first opportunity attack at the middle. Harris, single coverage on the block. It's picked up by Pollard in the back line. And Tibbetts over the line. Air with the touch up. Walker to Air. She has an awkward left-handed attack, but it may go for a kill. Painter with the second. Yes, it does. Mandy Air has given Lyman the lead 22-21 on the kill. And it was an awkward one. The setup was certainly anything but perfect. For Mandy, that's double-digit kills in the game, 10 in all. Serving with the lead now, Sierra Heaton, 22-21. 3 bumps and over for Lyman. So again, the first attack is Lyman's. And a block down, Olivia Nelson gets a point back for Kemmerer. Nelson with her third block of the set, sixth of the game. 22 all. And a shanked return on the serve receive from Nelson. And Hansen misses, sends it into the net. Not an ace there, an attacking error for Hansen. 23-22, but nonetheless, Nelson gets to serve again. Here it is, and it's a tough one. Over to Air. Walker dumps that over. Quick reactions from Tibbetts. To the middle, it's Plowman with the attack. Heaton first touch to Walker. Bump set over to Air. Rolls it over two blockers. Good return in the back line from Nelson. And an awkward set. Looked like a double hit, but instead it's a deep corner push kill for. That was the outside hitter there, Jillian Tibbetts. Set point number one, Kemmerer's way. The ball rolls back to the Rangers. Olivia Nelson. 6 blocks in the game and a chance to end it here with an ace. No, it is returned up. Touch up by Harris. 3 bumps, it's tied on the net. A tee off there for Harris. And net touch called on number 10. That is Austin Benson. So set point number 2 for Kemmerer on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Each set so far has been 26-24. 24-23 here. Tibbetts tips it over the line. Heaton is there. Walker to Hansen, 10 feet away from the net. Sharp cross. There's Pollard to Casti. Outside and tight on the net. A missed set has put us at our third deuce in as many sets. 24 all on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. Now Mandy Ayers serves as that moves Bryce Hansen, leading the contest in kills with 13, make it 15 on the day. Middle attack and a lift called before that. And I've thought I've seen a couple, but Audrey Casti suffering mightily at that double hit right there, missing on a couple of setups. Set point number 1, match point for Lyman. 25-24, and Cassidy is out for Kalia Gray. Serve from the lefty Air is up into the air and over. Gray to the middle. Plowman winds up, hits it into the net, and Lyman wins in 3 sets, all 3 by the score of 26-24 on the Benedict's Market and True Value board. We will be back with post-game coverage, as that does it for us here in live coverage, and we'll give out the Dr. McKay Frankham Precision Play of the game and more next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Eagles Volleyball, live and online at mylocalradio.com.
Do you like following your Mountain View and Lyman athletics when you can't make it to the game? Well, we love bringing it to you. Hi, I'm Jake Hibbard, voice of the Mountain View Buffaloes and Lyman Eagles, and I've been traveling around the state of Wyoming and covering high school sports for the better part of a decade. Whether it's covering a big culminating event at the Casper Event Center, calling a tightly contested Mountain View Lyman game, the greatest rivalry in this state, or kicking back and enjoying the views at one of the state's many hidden gems like the ballpark in Cowley, Wyoming, there's a few things I always see. There's officials trying their hardest, coaches sweating it out on the sidelines, and there's always a ton of support for these athletes from the entire community. MyLocalRadio.com would like to take a moment to thank all of its sponsors for making today's video coverage possible. Without all of us working together, none of this could happen. If you would like to support our future video broadcasts of Lyman and Mountain View sports, there's a few ways you can let us know. The first is, you can call our home office in Evanston, Wyoming at 307-789-8116 and let them know that you would like to know more about how you can become a sponsor of Bridger Valley Sports. The other is, you can just come up to me before or after a game and ask for more information. We've got a lot of different tiers of sponsorship and we'll find the perfect one for you. We would love for you to join the MyLocalRadio.com and Bridger Valley Sports family and help us continue to bring these games for years to come. That number again to call for the Evanston office is 307-789-8116. Or just come up and see me at one of the games and let me help you help us. And remember, go Eagles and go Buffs.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Welcome back post-game here at Kemmerer High School, where Lyman has defeated Kemmerer in 3 straight sets, all 3, by the score of 26-24. I don't know how many times I've seen that happen. I could probably count it on one hand, but I'll ask coach of the Lyman Eagles right now, Brescia Hansen, how many times have you been a part of a 26-24 all the way around victory where it goes your team's way all 3 times?
Never. I've been in volleyball for 25 years.
Yeah,
Never seen that.
And a couple of great comebacks by Kemmerer in the first couple of sets, and then an 8-1 run in the middle points. You were basically dead in the water at about 17-9,
yeah.
And then the run came. And I've seen this several times with this team. It's certainly when things are working, they're working very well for your girls. But then it kind of goes away, and I think maybe some setting errors helped us along the way in that third set. But overall, as you get ready for conference play, your assessment of tonight?
I mean, we're inconsistent right now, and I think that's to be expected with a young team. I'm having to be patient. They're having to be patient with each other. And we just have to trust that eventually those inconsistencies and those strings of points that we let go, we're going to eventually work our way out of that.
Yeah, and Kemmerer, it proves to be a good opponent for a couple of looks. I think number one, you get a very tall middle with
yes.
good reading hands. Olivia Nelson was very strong against your blocker hitters today.
Yes, she number 14 and then number 10 also.
Yep.
I didn't catch her name, but she
Plowman,
played right side for them. They put up a big block together on my outsides and make life a little hard for them. They, going, where do we go?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a good job.
As you continue to move a few players, not necessarily around, you're just trying to get your rotation that you wanted to have together all together. So is that kind of a work in progress still, as you missed Sierra Heaton with a little time out, Raven Heaton missed some time at the beginning, and that moves around who everyone's playing and where they're playing. Emma Nelson continues to get her swings at the right side. It seems like there's still some comfort level that needs to be gained with these girls.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've certainly had a few players shuffle around here and there due to injuries and whatnot. And we're certainly trying to change things as we go offensively and spread the ball out a little more. But those are things that will come as the season progresses.
Serving today, you finish with 4 aces, maybe 5 aces by my tally. 3 by Kendall Dickerson. I guess there's a reason why she's back there serving despite not playing back row.
Oh, yeah. We consistently get strings of points every time Kendall serves the ball. And I don't know what it is about her serve that just causes problems for people. But I'm not just having her serve willy-nilly.
Yeah.
She's a good server.
No, she is. And
yeah.
I think Bryce was serving for the 8-1 run, but for that most recent comeback, Kendall was serving. And then I believe it was Kendall and then Sierra Heaton serving in those last points that you got.
Yes.
A crazy game, though. Man, a good opening of the week. Now you get on to Pinedale, a team that you saw earlier.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that it was a good thing when you were down 21-17. It wasn't the weekend because you get a little more time to play with.
Yes.
Maybe that's a good thing against Pinedale this time.
Yeah, maybe it is. I mean, we certainly have a few kinks to work out in practice tomorrow and issues to address. We were slow and sluggish on defense tonight for sure, and that's not going to work on Thursday. And so that game matters. Tonight's game didn't really matter. Of course we want to win, but that game against Pinedale does. And I'm really looking to pick up our defensive intensity then.
Yeah, late contest, almost to 9 o'clock, so I'll let you go right here and get ready for practice tomorrow and then back at it 1 day of practice. Probably have to go a little light on them tomorrow, don't you?
Oh, yeah, we'll go about a little over an hour maybe.
All right, and then we'll see you for Pinedale. We won't be with you, but good luck as you start that Southwest Conference play.
Awesome, thanks.
Brescia Hansen joining us postgame. We'll take one last break and run you through the stats as we have them for both Kemmerer and Lyman next on this First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
the Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service.
They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Welcome back post-game here at Kemmerer High School, where we said as we came back from the break we would give you our stats as we have them. 3-set victory for Lyman, all 3 coming by the score over Kemmerer on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard by a final of 26-24. So as close as you can get, all 3 sets had a deuce at 24 apiece. Leading the way for the winning team and leading the game in kills was Bryce Hansen, which finished with 15 in those 3 sets. That is a high clip in a 3-set contest. Mandy Ayer with 11, and then Kendall Dickerson with 2, Madison Harris with 2, and Brooklyn Walker had a kill on a dump set over. Adding on to Kendall Dickerson's play was a couple of blocks and 3 aces. Emma Nelson finished with 1 block, and the other player to get an ace was Mandy. She had an ace in that one, and I have a half A, and I think I crossed it out from Bryce Hansen. I don't remember that, if that was an ace or not. Moving on to Kemmerer's side, 1 player into double digits, and had she gotten another set or 2, may have been a double-double contest. Olivia Nelson, sophomore middle blocker for Kemmerer, 10 kills, 6 blocks in the game. 6 kills for Kyla Pollard and 2 blocks for her as well. Kinley Plowman with 3 kills and 3 for Jillian Tibbetts. No, she had 5. I marked those down. So 5 kills for Jillian Tibbetts, and 2 from Kalia Gray, 2 blocks as well for her. Austin Benson, 2 blocks, 2 kills. In the ace department, Kalia Gray led the way with 3, 2 for Olivia Nelson, and Kinsey Painter with 1 kill, or with 1 ace as well. Time now for the Dr. McKay Frankham Precision Play of the Game, and it comes in the back serving line, and is a dual handout award to Bryce Hansen for being on that serving run that helped bring Lyman back. Certainly it was a complete team play all the way around. It was not simply on the serving, but there were some tough serves along the way, and no doubt about that, that helped Lyman bring that comeback in. And then Kendall Dickerson leading the way in the serving with 3 aces, and you heard Coach Brescia Hansen sing her praise for her serving prowess, and always putting teams a little bit off and on their back heels when she goes back to serve. So that's your Dr. McKay Frankham Precision Play of the Game. In the serving is where we give the department today. And as I mentioned, Lyman starts conference play this Thursday against Pinedale. That is in Lyman. We will not be there for that one, but we will certainly be updating you and as we can for the results of that contest, because on Thursday we are on the road as Mountain View has a 6 o'clock contest against Green River. That scheduled again for 6 p.m. at Green River High School. We will go on air with pregame coverage about 15 minutes prior to the varsity match beginning. And then the week after, the 24th, we have the first of the rivalry editions. 7 p.m., September 24th, Mountain View at Lyman on the volleyball court. That's next week, and that's next Tuesday, a 1 week from today. We've got not just a conference game, we have the conference game for MyLocalRadio.com, the Bridger Valley Battle. And the football field this week, I am with Lyman as the 2-0 Lyman Eagles go into Cokeville, standing at 2-1, and have a 1 o'clock kickoff for that contest. Pregame coverage at 12:20 p.m. for that on MyLocalRadio.com. Was scheduled to be on KNYN 99.1, but looking at matters, I'm not sure we're going to be able to get that game on any radio coverage because there was a changing of schedule with a Kelly Walsh Evanston contest. So we may not have a simulcast on that one. Might only be with the video coverage, but certainly we'll have that live video for you and be live from Cokeville High School. Again, 12:20 pregame, 1 o'clock kickoff for that. That does it for me. Again, 26-24. That's the score in all 3 sets, and all go Lyman's way on the Benedict's Market and True Value scoreboard here tonight as Lyman defeats Kemmerer on a Tuesday interclassification contest. Back this Thursday with one more interclassification contest, and then the Bridger Valley battle next Tuesday, Lyman versus Kemmerer, Lyman versus Mountain View in the Southwest Conference. That's it for me. I'm Jake Hibbard. We'll see you Thursday if you're on for the Mountain View volleyball feed, Friday if you're on for Lyman football, and if nothing else, definitely join us next Tuesday for Lyman Mountain View. We'll see you later. This is a First Bank presentation of Lyman Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
The preceding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Today's executive producer is Val Cook. We appreciate you tuning in to this mylocalradio.com exclusive of Lyman Eagles Athletics. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and partners who make this all possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more information about future Lyman broadcasts, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Until next time, go Eagles!